I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
Wait a minute. This is not Thursday and it's not 3 o'clock. So are we still the CRM players?
We're still the CRM players, but this is timeless. It's
See,
eternal. It's infinite.
it's timeless AI now.
Wow. Okay, let me go to work on with Claude and develop a new product.
It's
I'll be
timeless
back. I'll be
AF.
back in 5 minutes.
Oh, in the meantime, no, this is not Thursday. It's not a regular CRM players episode, but we've been doing this for what, 17 years now?
Yeah. As Vala pointed out, it's the longest running broadcast in this domain.
It's all that. And even with all that said, lots of stuff happens that doesn't take place on Thursdays between 3 and 4.
Yeah, and we've been working for so many damn years to train the industry to do it then too.
But we've finally given up, and now we're just gonna, go with the flow. And things that catch our attention that don't happen to be between 3 and 4 on Thursdays, we are now doing for the first time ever what we are calling Playaz, quick hits, or is it quick takes?
Quick takes.
It's quick takes. It's so new we don't even know what the damn name is. But anyway, we are going to start doing stuff like this because things do happen, and we want to talk about them. And sometimes we just don't want to wait until Thursday.
And also, we don't want to talk about them forever.
That's true too. So our very first CRM players quick take goes to, we need a drum roll, but we don't have one. So anyway, we are going to talk for our first impressions, a quick take on SugarCRM rebranding and renaming itself to Sugar AI. What's your first thought?
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of, I've noticed from some of our actual hosts of several of our shows and analysts, there have been some very positive, talk about it. I'm more muted. I'm not negative, but I'm more muted, honestly. Look, I've seen Sugar do things like this before. Remember the mea culpa period, right? And when they've tended to do stuff like this, here's the way I look at this. On the one hand, regardless of anything, I will always trust their product. I would trust the technology that they have and the platform they use because it's a high quality product, number one. Number two, if you read through their press release, it's not, I mean, this is the same rebranding, and I don't really find it as a rebranding. It's just an evolution and a renaming that every company's going through. It's the same one. It's Salesforce going with Agentforce. I mean, it's literally the same kind of thing. The only difference here is that Sugar is focused on sales specifically, and this ties TRP. The problem with all press releases, as you know, is that they tend to hype up everything, and they're typing it up as if no one's ever tied CRM data to ERP data before, right? Which has happened in how many cases? Like again, even Salesforce, which doesn't do that, does that, right? So there's nothing I see in here that makes me think, oh, wow, this is a real radical change in both Sugar and in the industry. And of course, they're saying they're reinventing CRM, which, ServiceNow had them beat by about, 5 years on that one. And so did Salesforce, and so did Oracle, and so did SAP, and so did, you name it. It's just the case. So is this an important move for Sugar? Yeah, it is. Do I think that they'll change everything about the company? Do I think they're changing everything about the company dramatically? No, I don't. Have I seen things like this before? Because remember, even prior to this, it was manufacturing focused. Now that's disappeared completely, which not shockingly either. That was never a great move. Do I trust the company to really pull it all the way through? Maybe. The reason I say maybe is, look, their biggest problem is none of this. Their biggest problem is getting out there and doing things that make them visible, right? Really visible, not the back burner kind of visibility they've always had, which is, yeah, I know who SugarCRM is, but I never see them in front of anything, right? So we'll see how it goes. Do I applaud it? Yeah, I do. But it's just, to me, a necessary change in sugar itself, not something that's reinventing anything, not something that hasn't been claimed by other things before. I'd say the one differentiable thing in the whole uh, new approach is, and I'm avoiding all conversations about systems until after you talk, is the selling side, that they're very specifically focused on sales. And that's really not CRM. Again, that's Salesforce automation, but you get the point. I mean, that's actually a positive. They're figuring that out, but they got a lot of other things to figure out before I go, woohoo, this is the best thing they've ever done.
Yeah, I'm more like, I don't know, a TBD, or
Yeah.
it's mainly because we've seen, rebrandings before, and a lot of time it's mostly just marketing. There's nothing after the rebrand that says, really, we're going to be different. It's just like, we're going to have a different name, and that's what makes us different. So I'm holding judgment. Like you, I would like to see. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the technology at all. The technology's been there for years, and their focus has really, I thought, the way they've been narrowing their focus, I think has been good for them. I think it's important, because trying to compete, with the breadth and the depth, both of those things, when you have these companies with huge pockets, you just can't do it. So I think it is really important for them to focus on some of the places that they can really own. But once again, along with the name change, there has to be a change in how they approach thought leadership, and how they approach, being able to be a part of the industry conversation. And in some instances, you'll be able to lead it. Just changing the name doesn't give you that. Changing the name gives you a momentary blip of publicity, but what do you do after that kind of fades out? That's where, you have to connect the dots and see, maybe 6 months, a year from now, if this rebranding really did change the impact they have on their customers, but even possibly on the industry. So I can't say it's good or bad. Maybe it is necessary, because even going back years, the initial perspective around sugar was the open source. I hopefully we're done with that. I think we might, but then again, AI has the open source kind of coming back around.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they can use that to their advantage at some point. But I think it just starts now, and we have to see how good it is in hindsight after maybe 6 months, a year, looking at what's going on with them.
Yeah. And I would say the other side of it, to your point exactly, is they've done stuff like this before. I mean, it's not like they haven't. They announce these kind of changes always. Now, is this the most significant change? Most likely. And the irony is, they have a couple of pieces in place that are solid. As I said, their platform has always been solid. Their acquisitions have been pretty smart. I can't say they're brilliant, but they're smart enough, and they do the right thing. Their sales focus, look, they've always been the strongest when it came to sales, and they're finally focusing in on their absolute strength, and that's a positive. Right? Even with AI guided selling is kind of the way they're talking about it, which is actually probably, oddly, with all the other crap in here, so to speak, it's the best actual piece of that, right? Yeah. Where they're actually saying, okay, we're going to focus on, and that's something that does the most important thing, regardless whether you're AI, traditional CRM, or whatever, which is you provide customers with something they can use in a way that they can use it, right? And gets them an outcome that they're looking for. And if you have that, you win, right? The other side is, though, they're also, they're adding to a little bit, they're talking about, as if, again, as they're the first ones to talk about a system of action now, right? And first of all, Microsoft predated them by a long shot, like by 2 years ago, right? I took a look at systems of, and here's what I came up with. I am not kidding. System of record, system of engagement, system of action, system of context, system of intelligence, system of growth, system of decision. Right? I mean, come on, folks.
Let me add a couple of that. Oracle talked about system of outcomes last week at their event. Outcomes. And I read something from the Sugar CEO, whose name is just complete, Dave Roberts.
Yeah.
David Roberts. where he talked about a system of guidance.
And
So
that, that goes to their guided selling side. But
yeah. So who's the only one that's still talking about system of record? Jensen Wong. It's kind of funny, but I mean, yeah. There's renaming of the architecture. There's rebranding of the companies. There's all that just tells you that we're in this world of flux, and really nobody knows what's going to happen, and nobody knows what direction everything is going. So everybody is taking their stab at it. And I can't fault them for doing that.
I can't either, but the problem with all of that is it creates confusion among customers, and it always does. And if you don't straighten that out, you got a much bigger problem. Look, ultimately, this all comes down to the simplest thing it's ever, really. If you can provide the customers with something that they can get an outcome that they're looking for and makes it easy for them to do it, it's going to work. That's what you want. What Sugar doing? Say that? I don't know. I mean, it may. And again, the focus around guided selling is the best thing in here, not AI per se. AI is the tool you use for the guided selling, and it's smart. That part's smart. The rest of it is, marketing. I will say this. Look, they got a couple of pieces in place as a company, which are important. They've got the AR piece, obviously, with Sarita Kincaid, who's the best. She and Sandy Lowe might be the two best in the business, but let's say this: they're among the best in the business, no matter how you look at it. They've got a good PR agency they're working with Aaron Lutz, people like that who are really, really smart, and they know what they're doing. Beyond that, after Claire left Sugar, I don't even know the name of their CMO.
Well, we don't know who the name. Well, there is a name in the press release.
Yeah, I saw it.
But we haven't talked to them, and maybe we'll get a chance to talk with them, and maybe we'll have a little bit more perspective after that kind of conversation.
I hope so, because at this point, to your point, I'm with you 100%. This is let's see how it plays out. I don't know enough to say I'm fully confident that it'll play out the way that they hope it will. I am confident enough to say it's got a decent shot, but it's got a long way to go. Look, partner programs. I mean, there's so many other things they got to do properly, and regardless of whether they're retooling around AI and focusing around guided selling and calling themselves the reinventing CRM, which they're not. And people just also need to stop with the we are reinventing. We are the ones doing this, because everyone's been claiming this for years. They're actually kind of late to the game on that. So from my standpoint, let's wait and see.
Yeah. And my preferred rebranding would have been not Sugar AI. It would have been Sugar AF. That would have been
that might have not gotten past the FCC. We'll see if it gets past the FCC.
Hey, one last thought.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what was the last really good rebranding that really worked out well? It wasn't Meta, going from Facebook to Meta, because I think they were trying to rebrand for the metaverse, and we should ask Alan Truffler about how that worked out. But here's one that we actually, I don't know if we had anything to do with it, but we were there at the beginning. BPM Online.
Oh, abso-friggin-lutely.
That Creatio.
Yeah, when I remember when they were going through the literal name changes. And it's interesting. I remember there were 3 different choices at the time. They were looking at the name from BPM Online to whatever. And they asked me to pick one, and I chose Creatio, but I wasn't sold on any of them. But Creatio is a glove, man.
But you know what's the best part is how they announced it.
Yes. Oh my God.
Now, if Sugar AI had announced it by jumping out of a plane with all their employees following David Roberts, yeah, maybe we give it a little bit more credence.
Right. Well, was that scary, man. That 160 employees, including, by the way, Catherine Kostareva, who's the CEO, jump out of planes.
Yeah. So, Dave, if you really want to impress us, you should have jumped
out of a plane, or minimally jet skied or something.
Something. I mean, keep that in mind for whatever you do next. But
good point, though. And you know what? Their biggest competitor will be Creatio.
Ooh, we just set up like a, I don't know,
Well, right now, if I have to give an edge, I'm giving it to Creatio. So they
had a head start on all this.
Yes, they do. And they, by the way, have integrated ERP with CRM for a long time, as well as integrated CRM itself.
All right. So we just couldn't wait till Thursday to talk about that. So this was the very first Playaz quick take. What do you think? Was that good?
Oh, I'm in. I love this.
All right, folks. We will see you on Thursday. Actually, we will see you a little earlier on Thursday because we are doing our very first opening keynote watch party for Canva. Woo, that should be interesting.
Yeah, well, it's unique.
It is unique
for us.
So we will see you then. In the meantime, see you. If I can only get the recording to stop. There it is, I think. Did it stop? No. Jeez, you got